Welcome back to the Awakening Women podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Oaten, and in this episode, we're talking about excuses. And we all do it, right? We all make excuses. We all come up with reasons and 1,000,001 reasons for why we can't be, do, or have something that we say we want. And one thing to really keep in mind around excuses is that they're misalignments. They're avoidance strategies to stop us from moving toward the life circumstances that we say we want. And so in order to awaken, to evolve, to move to those next levels, which I believe with all the things that have happened in my lifetime, I believe why we're here is to evolve and leave behind a legacy to those we leave behind. This is family, but I think for me and maybe for you, if you have children, that's the first thing that comes to mind is what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind to my children? For them, when I'm gone, how will they look back on me? How will they see me? How will they see that I rose to certain occasions and came through adversity and came through tough times? And if our children see us just making excuses for staying in bad situations, they are going to grow up doing the same thing because they're going to think, well, mom did it, so I'm probably going to have to as well. And we don't realize the power of our actions over our words. We can say to anyone, to our kids, our daughters, yeah, don't tolerate mistreatment from a man. Don't ever tolerate that. But yet, here she's seeing you tolerate that. It looks, there's a misalignment in there because you're making excuses for why you're staying in it. And we have to call ourselves out from hiding under a rock and coming up with all kinds of excuses for why we can't do things. So some of the most common excuses are, I don't have time, I don't have money, or there's something wrong with my health. These are the three biggies. They're the three big things that come up for most of us when it comes to facing something we could do to change our situation. So if we're talking about a relationship and you are tired of the cage, the emotional cage that you're in, and you say you want to do something different, and an opportunity comes up for you to be able to do something different, what comes up for you? Is it, I don't have enough time to sort this out right now, I don't have enough money to do this right now, or I don't have enough energy or health to do this right now? So look at your life and look at where you're most complaining at this moment in time. It might not just be your relationship, it's probably multiple things. And your health is probably in there if you're in one of these relationships. Let me tell you, your health is going to be very much linked to being in trauma-bonded, emotionally turbulent, entangled relationships. Your nervous system is impacted, and therefore, as women, with your nervous system impacted, your whole hormonal system, your whole endocrine system is disrupted from that kind of emotional stress that's going on day in and day out. So what are the excuses that you make? And I want to say, so many women have gone through my newest boot camp. It's called the Relationship Clarity Boot Camp. I've opened it up twice now. And I've gotten so much feedback and so much like, oh, this is so awesome. It's changed my life. And, the boot camp itself is like a small snippet of what you get if you were to come and mentor with me in my actual program. It's very in-depth. And when you take the steps and you actually go through it, you come out the other side a completely different version of yourself. And so some women will, a lot of times it's I don't have the funds, I can't afford it or whatever. But what's it costing you to stay spinning in this situation? What would you need to do to come up with the finances to solve your solution or solve your situation? To find a solution that actually changes things for you. See, a lot of times we think we're changing things just because we're Oh, I'm aware of the problem. Yes, that's the first step, to be aware of the problem. The second is I teach you to pull back your energy. That's part 2. But there are many, many other steps after that. You can pull back your energy for years. You could go on for another 5 years like that, and nothing will change. In fact, usually not so much that things don't change, it's that they get worse over time. And I want you to ask yourself, if you don't do anything to actually change your situation and it stays exactly how it is, or as I said, things most likely, they go in the direction, like they snowball energetically in the direction that has got the most momentum. So if things are going to shit and there's all kinds of chaos and problems and things coming up, the momentum has already gone in that direction and it's going to keep going in that direction. That's why things tend to get worse until we turn the bus around energetically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, all of those things. So this is what I want you to ask yourself is, if things were to stay exactly as they are now, or, as I said, more likely get worse, where are you going to be in 1 year? Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, where are your kids going to be? If you stay doing what it is that you're doing right now, whatever it is, whatever your pattern is, if your pattern is, I feel like I'm ready to leave, but I can't leave, you come back, you've left, but you keep thinking you should come back and give him another chance. You tell him you want a divorce and then he plays nice and you rescind what you said and you kind of slip back into the day-to-day, the pretending everything's fine for a little while because maybe he's acting quote-unquote normal. What is your pattern? And then what is it that you're doing with that pattern? Where are you getting stuck? Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you keep getting the same results. That is a fact. And so you're missing part of the equation when you just pull back. Many women pull back. Many women sleep in different rooms. Many women stop having sex with their partners and refuse to have any physical intimacy whatsoever. And that usually does make things worse because you're setting boundaries and they're not getting what they want. And when women are in my program doing the process that I teach, there's some uncomfortable pieces in that you have to do. And women will do the part in the program where they have the option to present their spouse with a specific set of criteria for what they need to see in order to give the relationship any more time whatsoever. And through teaching this program for so many years, I've tweaked this a little bit here and there because you have to be really careful and recognize that this is really for you. It's for you to get really clear on your deal breakers, non-negotiable needs, your ultimatums. But you don't have to present those to your partner. And in some cases, and maybe even many cases, it's probably best not to. It's best to do it for yourself. But some women, they choose to do it because they want that line in the sand of, I gave him his last chance here. I took the time and put this together, and how he responds to that is going to be everything that I need as far as an answer. Okay? So back to the original topic of excuses is look at where you're making excuses and look under the categories of not enough time, not enough money, not enough energy, or somewhere in there, health issues being the reason why you can't do something. And then recognize that is your bottleneck. That is your place that you keep going to as an excuse to not actually have to change. You may not see it that way, and you might even say, no, that's not true. That's, if I had the money or time or energy, I would do it. But would you? And it's interesting how we get in our own ruts. We just keep digging them deeper and deeper and deeper as we go. And sometimes all you need is just a little tweak, a little shift in energy, a little change in perspective, or a new piece of information, or learning something in a new way, and it changes everything for you. And that's what I want for every woman, is for you to not stay stuck spinning and spinning in the same crazy making cycles. I want you to experience peace and clarity and confidence, to set your boundaries, to say no, to reclaim your right to having peace in your home, and to not have to walk around on eggshells and feel tension and deal with a man and his grumbly irritability, passive-aggressive behavior. For you not to feel worried and afraid to speak up and say how you feel. For you not to feel uncomfortable in your own home. These are rights that we have, that we've given up. We don't even realize what we've given up by tolerating this in our homes. We don't realize the cost of this to ourselves and our children who have been raised in that kind of tension. And so I urge you today to get honest with yourself about where you're making excuses. And if you would like to take the next step and get some clarity and get some powerful coaching from me, I have a 3-part boot camp. It's a 3-part video series. It's very powerful, very in-depth. And for now, it's free. You can get access to it instantly by heading to the link in my show notes. You can sign up for it. And once you do, you'll have instant access to the video binge page. I recommend you put aside about 90 minutes. You don't have to do them all at once, but if you want to just do it all at once, have a notebook and just put this time aside for yourself. You will experience a shift. So if you'd like to get your hands on that and get started, head to this episode description and you'll see the link to join. And again, for now, it is free and you have very limited time to watch the videos. All right, so I hope you will dive into that if you haven't already, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.